Okay, ladies and gents, it's Wednesday, 9 o'clock Central European Time, and you know what that means. That means that some StarCraft Showmatch series is coming your organized by Team Think Quick. I'll get around managing to say that name someday. And casted by me, Y2Kid. You're all welcome to join the cast if you'd like by joining the Discord server. Last week we had a few technical difficulties. Since then I've tried to improve my setup. Hopefully there will be no issues this time. But I guess we'll all find out if that's the case right now. As always, any feedback is appreciated. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, but it is quite difficult for me using this setup right now. So, in any case, I'll be keeping an eye, and if there's something majorly wrong going on, please do let me know in the chat, and I'll try to fix it as soon as I see it. And without any further ado, let's get into our main content for tonight. It's going to be a show match. I think we've got 1v1 and a 3-4-0 planned this time. Trying to mix things up a bit so that you are not bored and we keep you in check. And I'm saying that we start with the 1v1 because I'm still somewhat focused, and 1v1 I can cast slightly better. Thank you for the positive feedback. Because of the technical difficulties last week on Team Liquid, I really appreciate that, and I will try to keep that stream for you for as much as I can. Anyway, so our main series for tonight is Cryoc versus Sziky. Sziky, one of the main contenders in PSL, and Cryoc unfortunately just ended his PSL run, I think, last Sunday, was it? It was a very cool series. Definitely do check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. And our poll predictions for who takes the series are 100% in favor of Sziky. So let's see if chat is correct, or if maybe Cryoc can pull a surprise. Because I do think Cryoc is a pretty strong player and he can take Sziky. And I'm not really sure exactly when this was played, but if it was played slightly before, when Sziky was just coming to Brood War, and he was not in his top shape or his current shape right now, because I think he is now performing better than he ever was since he came back. Cryoc might have had a very good chance of taking the game. So I will not keep you waiting anymore, and gonna host the game, and we're all gonna enjoy some StarCraft. There doesn't seem to be any people joining my cast today, as far as I can tell. So, with that, let's get into our game, which is not being shown right now. Okay, it is. Good. Stream seems fine so far. So we've got the map is Sylphid, Neo Sylphid 2.0, and we've got spawning in orange. Oh, they even play on top versus bottom. But we've got spawning in orange as the orange Terran. In the left corner of the map Sylphid, we've got Cryoc. And at the right corner, the right hand side of the map Sylphid, we've got our Zerg player Sziky. Cryoc, a very good German Terran, and I believe Sziky is from Oh boy, I know I'm gonna embarrass myself right now. But I think he's Hungarian, right? Maybe someone can correct me if they know where Sziky is from. I believe he's from Hungary. But I might be mistaken, and if I am, I'm so sorry, Sziky. You're a great player, and I love you. So we've got spawning pool into Gastric, into a scouting drone for Sziky, which is somewhat standard. I believe it was the older way to play it, the matchup, to do the Gastric, and if I'm not mistaken, it was either Larva or Zero that really discovered that the Gastric wasn't really that viable in, I believe, any of the matchups, unless you're pulling off Lingo in which case you are actually trying to end the game pretty quickly, so that very slight early boost for your minerals is paying off. But other than that, I don't think it's actually worth it. In any case, we've got no gas and 6 links being made here by Sziky. Most likely to try and deny that scouting SCV. Let's see if he will do a good job with that. In the main base, we've got Cryoc going for a very standard build, no gas yet, so I'm not expecting it to be any fast tech or any mech play. So quite possibly just gonna be a very standard opener. Let's see if Sziky goes for oh. Seems like the 6 links did not try to kill the SCV and beeline straight to the main, which Cryoc tried to block with a few SCVs of his own. But that hero drone actually did a lot of damage to the Marines, while the links were picking up the SCVs, and yeah, as you can see, it's actually adding up quite a lot. Cryoc is still ahead in workers, but he had to pull some SCVs over here to defend, which all died, and right now is losing so much mining time and does not have any army. Meanwhile, we've got Sziky's natural hatchery almost done, and 100 gas disappeared, so yeah, layers on the way as well. Cryoc does confirm that, and look at that, like Sziky is still doing damage with his units. Oh, streams feels a bit choppy again. No. So last time what fixed that was we reverted back to the StarCraft original graphics, which I know for some of you is not the most ideal. Oh, Sinclair saying that he is indeed Hungarian. Thank you, Sinclair. Yeah, I know that for some of you the original graphics are not the most optimal way, but it keeps the stream going smooth, so we might have to revert back to that sometime later during the night. Anyway, so layer is done and Spire is on the way right now for Sziky. Second gas also on the way, no third hatchery, so we all know that that's gonna be some mute aggression. And Terran players, in response to that, stopped going for that very famous 5 racks +1 timing, since you can't really produce all your upgrades going, produce enough Marines to stop the mutas and get the academy rolling fast enough in order to hold off the mute aggression that the Zerg player can pull out. So as a response, you're slowing down that. We see that Sziky is still continuing with the aggression. There were a lot of link losses, so for like 1 or 2 SCVs, I'm not quite sure that really was all that worth it. But here's what matters really. He is saving his larva, and he will have 6 larvae as soon as that spire finishes. Slightly later than that. So 5 mutas on the way right now. And meanwhile, Cryoc is trying to figure out what's going on. He's going for these 2 fat scanners. So he is kind of trying to play a catch-all build right now. And Sziky, very interestingly, going for +1 on his mutas. Very nice denial of that turret by Sziky. Mutas are already on the way, and there's only 1 turret in the main base. And I think these 5 mutas can take that 1 turret if he really wants to. But I guess he's afraid of these that bio ball over there. And we see that he has taken his third base already as well. So he definitely does not intend to finish the game solely by these mutas. I'm feeling that might be some sort of a guardian play because of the +1, but it could well just be for committing quite a lot into mutas and trying to overwhelm your opponent that way. Okay, so it is being laggy right now. Okay, so I reverted back to the original graphics. Let's look at that game. Let's see that the first game like this, and then I'm gonna try to fix some more things. I think the stream quality should now be 720. And I was hoping that this will fix the things. Fortunately, did not have that much time to check it myself this week before the cast, since it's been a terrible week. But we've got Sziky almost managing to breach the natural, and he did quite a bit of damage until that bio ball managed to get on in the natural and defend that. So Sziky's +1 should almost be done right now. Let's see. Yeah, he has his +1 is done right now. These mutas deal 10 damage, but more importantly, it's the splash damage of the mutaglyphs that also increases. So, yeah, as you can see, he managed to pick up 2 marines with his group of 9 mutas so far. And behind that, he did get a 3rd hatchery in the main and the 3rd base, so 4 hatcheries altogether. Got his Hydroden, and he is now going for these lurkers to defend the 3rd base very easily. And as we saw from our shot into the Zerg player's main, he is also going for these for the hive. And back in Terranville, we've got only 3 barracks, but we do have starport. We do have factory, which interestingly enough, he's adding an add-on right now. So I assume we will get some tanks as well. I was expecting that he would go straight into starport. There is the starport. And then into science facility so that he can keep up with the upgrades against his opponent, who is already going into hive. And the hive, yes, the hive is complete right now, and the Feller Mount is on the way. And as you can see, one of the most important upgrades in the game is currently being done. So the cracklings are gonna be insane really soon. We do have some workers trying to defend and Nidus to connect the third base and the natural. And I believe this is an overlord. Oh boy, the original graphics minimap does make it slightly harder to see what's going on the minimap. So we've got Cryoc instead of thinking of defending that aggression. Okay, he pick up the time. That is a very big pickup. So we can see that Cryoc is thinking of a counterattack rather than defending, which I believe could be a mistake since there's all these lurkers and there's the defiler mount, but I do not see any defilers. So we do see, we just saw that Cryoc scanned the natural. He sees the amount of lurkers, and okay, he does not even attempt to bust it. He just says GG. Okay, so that was game number 1. Let's see if I can do something and try and keep the cast going. The remastered graphics. Although I believe someone told me that you can watch StarCraft in that slightly reduced screen size, still in remastered graphics. I've not figured out how to do that. So we will see as we upgrade the scoreboard. And give Sziky his 1 point that he deserves. Just won it on the map Sylphet. And let's go into our second map, which will be the most standard map of all. Very controversial along the community. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it's, if not the most well-known map, one of the most well-known maps. It is, you guessed it, Fighting Spirit already. So let's head on into our second game. See what's up with that Fighting Spirit. Do you like the magenta? Yeah, okay. Let's keep the magenta. So we do have playing with the teal pieces, as Day9 likes to say. At the top left corner of Fighting Spirit, we have our Terran player called Cryoc, and his opponent, spawning in magenta as the Zerg player. At the bottom left corner, we've got Sziky. Sziky, a member of the Soul clan, pretty good clan. I believe they won one of the seasons in STPL. A big shout out to probably the biggest European team league organized by Kicks. Let's go to STPL, and I believe he also changed his Twitch channel to STPL as well. Because that's how people got to know him. He used to organize Team Liquid Open tournaments alongside with Sail, a very good caster who disappeared from the community. And in fact, he was one of the people that got me back into Brood War, as I used to play it ages ago, let's say like 2007, 2008, but I didn't play it. I knew of its existence and I was probably playing single player, but nothing more. And then, around the time that when the remaster came out, we've had Sail organizing these Team Liquid Opens, and I really liked it, so I thought I should probably try and play that game. So I did. and now I'm even casting it. But I do have some bad news. Seems like we will not be able to support the remaster graphics. Or so I think. We do have some pretty sick drone micro over here. I was not aware of the build, but he did go for a different build this time. But more interestingly, we have Gasless Expand from our Terran player, which of course Sziky already knows about, and some sick drone micro. Manages to kill that scouting SCV without even producing any links. And he is now making 2 just to scout and see what's up on the map, maybe put some pressure on the Terran. But it was quite impressive that he managed to kill everything with just his drones. Cryoc sending a second scouting SCV. Very importantly, similar to Flash. So knowledge is a big part of that game. So okay, so stream seems quite a bit more responsive with that, so we should keep it. Next week we might try some remaster graphics again after I try to figure out what's wrong with this. I mean, ultimately what will fix it quite possibly will be me getting a new setup, but there is no planned budget for that yet. So unless any of you is quite generous, okay, so this chat should be active. I don't know why my connection dropped for a second. Can you still hear me? People in the chat. I'm gonna wait for some feedback before I carry on with the stream. So, is the stream live? Can you hear me? Can you see the game? It is paused right now. Okay, I think we're back online. I can see some people coming back into the chat. Sure, my streaming software claims that I've not gone down at all, but I can definitely see that something happened. Oh no, I just realized how you can now see the replay bar in game. Okay, so with the replay bar gone, or maybe I can just move that thing over here and still keep the replay bar. I can see that the quality of the stream is not great, so I might need to call my ISP and shout at them at some point. But that will not be right now. Let's carry on with the game. Good. Thanks, Sinclair, for confirming that everything's going well. I have no idea what did just happen. Well, good news is it might not be my setup that's causing all the issues with the graphics. I don't believe so. Because it's fine when I play. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back into the game. So, as I was saying, we see that Sziky's lair is now completing at about the 5-minute mark, because he did go for the third hatchery this time. And we see immediately after the lair completed, he started his spire. And from the Terran side, we have pretty much the same build as last game. He is going for that super early double scanner and 2 Rexes. We've got some Zerglings scouting the map, making sure that there's no scouting SCVs and... Okay, good pull here. Making sure that there's no scouting SCVs and no ninja bases. Zerglings are going for a backstab. Let's see, that bunker is not empty, there's only 2 Marines inside, but the Zerglings don't care about that. And they're gonna be quite annoying, but can Sziky get his Sunkens up in time? There is one Sunken right now, and oh, I think Cryoc had a pretty good force. That was 7 Marines, and I think if he stimmed, he could have taken a few of the Sunkens for sure, but maybe he decided that there is no way to defend from these 5 or so links that did backstab him. With his 2 Marines and 2 more in production. I'm not sure I quite agree with that, but it was Cryoc's decision to do it. I believe he potentially had a very slick timing, which he could have used to take the game, but what can you do? StarCraft is a game of choices, and we see that Sziky went a bit greedy as soon as he saw the Cryocs turning back. Did cancel that 3rd creep colony and is now rebuilding it. He has taken his 3rd base at another natural. And these Mutas just scouting the map, making sure that there's no Terran units out on the map. And that natural is pretty well defended. Maybe he can find an opening from here. Let's see if he's gonna do that. So there's the bio ball waiting him here. There's 3 turrets over here. And he just decides to turn back. Which is not a bad strategy, as long as you keep the Terran player out. Not on the map and in his base. You feel pretty confident as a reserve player. Sziky losing 1 Muta. That's a bit unlike him. Almost for free. And the Terran player is going for these 5 racks. Should have +1 already done, yeah. And we'll be starting +2 very soon, I believe. kind of sound Scottish. I don't believe so. But if you say, maybe. I have spent about 7 years in Scotland. Well, the past 7 years in Scotland, so if I do sound any Scottish, apologies. Because I remember what it was for me when I went there for the first time. I was being lied to. They said that Scots speak English. But they were wrong. They only speak Zerg. That's why Cadenzi is such a good player. Okay, so these mutas right now stalling the map while Sziky managed to get his hive down and is again going for these defilers. You can see that Cryoc is itching to get out on the map, but he can't really do that because of that muta thread. But he... Okay, so he only lost one muta there, but I thought that was going to be way more disastrous than it was, so I guess kind of lucky for him. He will try and pick off any stray marines like that, or ideally get the tanks. But his medics are lacking behind, so he will be able to pick up some of these. And you can see that Sziky is already prepared. His defiler should be on the way. He did lose another 2 mutas, 3 mutas, so he's only down to 5 mutas right now. Talonplayer is almost out on the map. Almost managed to reach Zerg's natural. But it doesn't matter, the fire is already out, and let's see what's the consume timing. So, the only time that the Terran player has is before that upgrade hits. As soon as that upgrade hits, Terran has to pull back. Some links that are not on hot position are gonna be bled off over here, but that doesn't really matter all that much because, yeah, as you can see, consume is done, and I guess now you'll see why Terran only has a window of opportunity while that. Okay, so he did lose gold links, but these lurkers are now immortal. He didn't lose as much as I thought that he will with that overstay here. There are links swarming from the third base. Some marines going for a counterattack, but that Nidus Canal should take care of everything and make everything pretty immortal as well. We can see that he is going for double command center, not just one, but two. Sziky is not trying to deny, but the command center has not yet landed. But what is more interesting to me is that he's adding 2 more factories. And I believe he might try and go for that very old school mech transition where you go to 5 racks plus 1, get your upgrades going, and then lift all your racks and go for... Oh, so now he's using the Dark Swarm in his favor, but unfortunately there are no range tunics for the Zerg player, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Or at all, I should say. And now you can see that what the Zerglings that Sziky sent to the third base are doing. Yeah, Zyky's APM is crazy. Only, quote-unquote, 300 right now. But you can pretty much tell that this game is over just by the fact that there is a defiler. And it is not yet irradiated. There is no irradiate actually, there is no energy for irradiate, and there is a dark storm already near Terran's natural. Anytime you see that, you know things are not going well. How many lurkers does Sziky have right now? Only 3 lurkers. That one being quite lucky for not dying. 5 lurkers right now, and yeah, he did breach the natural, and that is a game for a Terran player. It's pretty hard, close to impossible to stop a Zerg player if they're already that close to your base. So we do have Sziky going for a quick 2-0. And let's see. Oh, I need to reconnect to Battle.net. Because when everything broke down, I got disconnected as well. That's how I realized that my stream could have some issues. Yeah, so what I was saying, let's see if Sziky can take the whole series, or Cryoc can, or if Sziky can ace the series, or if Cryoc can take any games off him. Seems like it was a pretty recent series by just looking at what Sziky is capable of right now. He is not missing a beat. Okay, so our third map is going to be Eclipse. And Eclipse is a bit of a weird map for this matchup in particular. Let's see how my stream is going. Good so far. So as I was saying, Eclipse is a bit of a weird map for this matchup in particular, because you've got on one side a Terran player spawning in orange, Cryoc, and in the top part of the map we've got Sziky spawning in brown. But what I mean is you've got all these very defendable bases, which is good for Terran as well as for Zerg. And the map is full of these like kind of choke areas and has high ground, so Terran mech is very good on this map as well. So it makes it good for Terran, but there are these nuke expansions where you can just position 2 lurkers like over here, over here, over here, and then pretty much until the mid game, or late mid game I should say, Zerg has almost no answer to this. So yeah, it's good both for Terran and Zerg, but the real deal is if Zerg can take this base over here, double gas base, because Zerg player is very scary when they are on. Zerg player is very scary when they are on 4 gases, and if they manage to secure, well, they've got their main, they pretty much have their natural 4 granted, and if they get the top left base, that is 2 additional gases, which makes it up to 4, and that is where it gets very scary for the Terran player. So I'm gonna say, unless you play mech, slightly Zerg favorite map. Sziky there went for the 12 hatch. There is still no pool. So let's see, when is he gonna build his pool? Eventually. There he got 13 drones already. One very annoying drone. Okay, So he's throwing down the Boo. He's not going to do any crazy shenanigery like 3-hatch before Poo or anything. And he did get that SCV. I was going to say, that drone was taking a while, but eventually it managed to kill off the SCV that was out on the map. There is a second SCV that is incredibly low. You can see that Sziky is searching for it, waiting for it to come back to into the base, and now just misses it. Let's see if that drone's on a quest right now. Let's just follow the drone for a second. Madinho is raiding with party of 57. Thank you, Madinho, for the raid. Now I wonder if a drone has some kills and then becomes an extractor. If the extractor is cancelled, are the kills still there? That is a good question. We're not gonna find out because he did not cancel his extractor. So SCV did manage to confirm that layer is on the way. Very important info. Knows that he should not be preparing for like crazy link all-in. And also didn't see any third hatcheries going on, so you can pretty much be sure that this will be a 2-hatch muta. There is some very sneaky strats that circulars can do, such as 2-base lurker. But for that, you usually want your Hydrogen to be starting at least when you're, or at most when the layer is halfway done. So you can start the lurker upgrade immediately. Sorry. But he's going for 2 bases and a Spire, but he's also taking quite a bit of a fast third base. That Ling aggression will not really do much, so good job by Cryoc. Very well defended. Is he going for that same build? I think he is still going for that one build that he used to go for in the previous 2 games. Kind of crazy and kind of sad. I did want him to go for something else. Shout out to Madinho's baby girl. Okay. Ox, my boss, really is saying to give a shout out to Madinho's baby girl, so Madinho, shout out to your baby girl as well, not just you, for being an awesome streamer and raiding us. Okay, so Cryoc, I was almost gonna say Madinho. Cryoc is again trying to edge on the map. Oh, I think I saw my connection just might have cut a few minutes ago. Seems like there's a thunderstorm coming. And if someone didn't do a great job deploying the infrastructure for the internet, that might get affected by the weather conditions. Very nice use of the high ground by Sziky. And we've already seen that his Muta Micro is crazy. But can he really do... Like, can you really hold all these Marines with just 7 mutas? I believe the answer might be yes, if you're called Sziky. Well, there's 8 mutas now. Can definitely do it. Ooh. Did does not quite manage to snipe that one medic. So Mutas do 9 damage, 72 for one volley with 8 Mutas. And a medic has 60 energy, 60 health. So 72 minus 8 is still more than 60. You should have killed that one medic. Guess what? Some of the mutas did not fire. Quick maths on stream. Going against all rules here. The main rule being to not do math on stream. So Mourinho now confirms that the third base is over here. Sees also the Queen's Nest. So he should know that the hive's coming. Because, well, for a starter, he's not going for factory, so there is no reason to get Queen's Nest and not get hive immediately after that for Sziky. And also, as I was saying before, I didn't want to see, oh, that is a big mistake, leading of these two medics. That was pretty much the life force of all these Marines, and yeah, you can see that now they're kind of forced to pull back. I didn't want to see Cryoc going for a different build, like mech the glide build or something. But unfortunately, or I think for Sziky, planned very well. He did that gas steal, and all the mech builds are very reliant on that early gas. So he was not quite able, more like he was forced to go for that game heavy bio style. And yeah, so Mourinho, sorry Mourinho, Cryoc did not manage to find much damage in the previous two games before the Defiler mount was done, and we can see that pretty much that game is the same. He is forced to stay in his base, while Sziky managed to take two Defilers to Hive and is now building his Defiler then. He should be going for that. Yeah, there you go. He is going for that crack upgrade. And his Defiler then is done. So, I believe we're just watching a repeat of Game 1 and 2. Okay, maybe not quite Game 1, because Game 1 was won by a lot of links as well. But Game 2, Cryoc did not do much before the Valors were out, and now there is a Nidus between the natural and the third base. There are Defilers. Consume is already done. So you pretty much cannot attack any of the bases. There are Lurkers close to, I should say dangerously close to the Terran's natural base. And the only piece that's missing yet for Sziky to close out this game is Defilers. If any Defilers get to over here, the game is done. Very nice Lurker morph from our Zerg player. We'll possibly manage to save all these Hydras. At the expense of some of the Mutas, but Mutas do lose quite a lot of their value in going into the late game. As you can see, Sziky is pretty much happy throwing them away. these two medics with no energy trying to heal each other. Poor medics. I think these medics are just a metaphor for what's going on in the game right now. Ooh, I almost thought that he managed to consume, he accidentally consumed the lurker. But yeah, as you can see, Dark Swarm in the natural with some lurkers. And as showcased